I'm not any big speaker like Jim Rohn. I don't know how to talk to you about personal growth. Here's all I know is practice makes perfect. You listen, you learn, you try, you fail, you try, you fail, you try, you fail, you try till you get better, you try till you get perfect, and then you try again until you're better than that. And then the last one is you never get satisfied with how good you are. You're always better the next time. That's all I know about personal growth. There's not a meeting that we're going to do that's not going to be better than the next one. Isn't this the best summit you've ever been to? Huh? Huh? And trust me, the next one's going to be unbelievable. Because there's not ever going to be a meeting where we're satisfied enough. They're always going to be better, and we're always going to be doing it in more incredible, and it's going to be more always unbelievable than the last one. That's the way it's got to be if you want personal growth. That's all I know about personal growth. It's got to be better. That's all I know. Got to be better than the last one. If you want things to get better, keep improving yourself. And that means for all of you guys. That means for all of you guys. You want to get bigger? You got to become bigger yourself. So you don't just go group go, go group go. You keep going yourself. And let me tell you, it will go. How do you keep inspired? I can't remember who said it in the meeting and stuff like that. It was Alan Lorenz, okay? He says, the way I keep inspired is from the new stories. New stories meaning he's getting new retail. Stories meaning he's getting new distributors. Stories meaning he's getting new supervisors. When that's happening to him, he keeps inspired. But if you just keep trying to squeeze your organization into $1 million without keeping inspired yourself by the own amount of retail you do, the own amount of recruiting you do, the own amount of supervisors you're breaking, then you're trying to squeeze your organization into $1 million by telling them, you guys do it, I don't got to do it. Can you make a little bit of money that way? Yes. Can you even make a lot of money that way? Yes. It's even worse when you're making a lot of money that way, and then all of a sudden you go on no-go mode. And you just tell your group, go, you gotta go, you gotta go. And in the beginning, you went yourself. And then pretty soon all you're doing to your group is saying, go, 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 and that makes you more money. Go, 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 and that makes you more money. And pretty soon for the next couple of years, that's all you're doing is saying, go, 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 go. And pretty soon you start getting dissatisfied. And pretty soon you start saying, I wonder why my check's not going up, and I wonder why it's not growing, because you can only get so much out of your group. Your group at some point is going to kind of get to where they want to be. And go, 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 you can't squeeze any more out of it. So if you want to get some more out of it, you got to become more yourself. And that means constant retailing, constant recruiting, constant breaking supervisors. Because here's another thing you got to do every year. Write this in your notes. Replenish that you lose. You are going to lose a certain amount of people each year. You are. No matter how successful you are, no matter how big your check's getting, no matter how big it's getting, every year you start over at the beginning, and you've got to replenish a certain amount of people that you lost to stay even. And then if you want it to get bigger, you've got to do more than that the following year just to make it become more. So don't get into a mode here of only go, go, go to your group. What you do is go, go, go on yourself. Treat all of your people great, okay? Including the ones that said no, by the way. Because they may be the one that you see 3 years from now, okay, that says, you know, I met you and you treated me terrible. Or they say to you, you know, I saw you about 3 years ago and you treated me real nice. What's happening with that Herbalife business? It's doing incredible, man. When I met you, I know I was only making about $2,000 a month,
but now I'm making $450,000 a year, and it's just gotten unbelievable. And let me show it to you again, because it's gotten a lot better since then. You're going to have to sit your family down and talk about your commitment. You're going to have to get the whole family bought in on the program, okay? And discuss it and agree. You're going to work this much. You're going to play this much. This is what it's going to mean if you do this, okay? If I work this hard, here's what we might get, okay? And keep your commitments, okay? And that may have to be refined from the day you start to the time you can become a GET team member. It may have to be refined. And when you become a millionaire team member, it may have to be refined. And when you get to the president's team, it may have to be refined. And then when your spouse sits there looking at you as a president's team member, and your burning desire is to go for chairman's club, okay? And they're getting on your nerves because they don't want you working like crazy to get to the chairman's club, okay? You're going to have one of those little sweet talks. You do everything that you can to make yourself look more impressive to your group so you match the pitch. So here's what I did. The first thing I did was I bought some new clothes. Wasn't that great? Wasn't that the greatest place? But it was the greatest place I could get that would make me look the best so that what I was pitching would match with the clothes I was wearing. You got it? So for those of you brand new, I remember Jerry, we sent her down to the Goodwill store, and she bought her silk dress for $2 to make herself look better at the meetings that she was given, okay? So it may have to start way down at the bottom. We didn't get this way by being what you're seeing here today, okay? This thing started out with a little white jacket and those little black pants, okay? Okay, and then from there, I got my first car. I'll never forget driving up in that El Dorado. Remember that? And then they made everybody sniff the seats. Seriously, I brought all my supervisors in and I said, sniff the seats, man. This leather is cool, baby. Then the next thing I did was I got a better apartment. A better apartment, okay? Wasn't a house, it was an apartment. A better apartment, that's where I started, a better apartment. Then I got my very first condo. Never forget my very first condo. Smaller than my bathroom at Gray Hall. Seriously. Can you believe that? Wait till you see my bathroom. It's unbelievable. Okay? And then you may decide you want an office, and then you go for your very first house, and then maybe you go for your first mansion, and then maybe you're getting your holiday house. Attitude's great when everything's going great. Of course, it's easy to have a good attitude then. When you got to have a good attitude is when things are not going good. When things are going bad. You know, I can remember back in the beginning, I talk about Don Grinnell all the time. Don Grinnell was my best guy, okay? And, you know, first month, 6,000, second month, 12,000, third month, 18,000. I was counting on this guy to make things happen. Boom, he's out of the business. Okay, and along with it, what happened? All the people went with him. Okay, and what happened to my meetings? Went from 60 down to 20. Okay, how did you think I felt back at that time when we didn't have any literature, we didn't have any journals, we didn't have nothing going on? Okay, we had just a couple of bottles. Okay, and my only guy that I was counting on to really make things happen left. How do you think Mark Hughes really felt? Terrible. Put it in your notes. I felt bad. Now, I've signed the guy up 3 times. And I felt bad all 3 times. I'm telling you, I'm going to get him a 4th time one of these days. He's going to be one of these days. I don't know how many times it's going to take us, but we're going to get him sometime. But anyway, I felt terrible about it. 1985 came along. The FDA hit us like an atomic bomb, okay? And it was a very lonely situation when this thing happened. I mean, if you could have just imagined what was going on behind the scenes with this thing, it was unbelievable, because the attack wasn't just so much on the vitamin industry, it was an attack on Herbalife, okay? Because we were the big ones, we were the big target. I mean, in that FDA Senate hearings, there was 400 companies in there, okay? And 399 of them got 2 hours, and I got 1 day in 6 hours. Okay, and the night before, I'll never forget this, we were up in the top room of the Hyatt House, okay? And the Hyatt looked directly across at the Senate building, and they had called us up and they said, listen, Mark Hughes is not allowed to have any of his lawyers in the room, and he's not allowed to have any of his doctors in the room. He needs to come there alone. And there I was, 27 years of age, with no medical degrees, with no lawyer degrees, with no answers that were supposed to be happening in the testimony, and I was going to be sitting here in front of these senators looking like an idiot 24 hours a day on national television. And I'm sitting there scared to death, you know, scared to death. And I'll never forget, and it was Paco Perez that reminded me of this. He was my very first employee. I got Paco in the company, and yeah. Where's Paco? We were talking the other day, and he reminded me of this. He came up into my suite, and he said, listen, Mark, he says, what do you think's going to happen? I said, you know, Paco, I have no idea, but I know one thing's for sure. If we tank, tomorrow I'm going to open this thing up, and you're going to be the first guy I'm going to hire back in the company, and we're going to do it all over again.